Not many people can say they've returned to the exact place where they technically died. For John Scully, however, life offered a rare second chance not just to walk back into the gym where his heart stopped, but to meet the man who brought him back from the brink. This is a story of courage, destiny, and the incredible bond formed between two unlikely heroes on a basketball court. The events unfolded in June 2022 during a semi-professional basketball game between the Jamestown Jackals and the Toledo Glass City. For Scully, a seasoned referee, it started like any other game. He was no stranger to the fast-paced action of basketball, the thrill of officiating competitive plays, and the intensity of the crowd. But this was no ordinary day, and what began as routine would turn into a life-or-death battle. The first quarter was underway, and the gym was alive with the sounds of sneakers squeaking on the court, the shouts of players, and the cheers of fans. Scully was moving across the floor, watching the game unfold, when suddenly, without warning, he collapsed. It wasn't a stumble or a feint, it was a complete, catastrophic shutdown. Scully had suffered a widowmaker heart attack, a condition so severe that it's named for its high fatality rate. Few people survive it, and the odds were not in his favor. Time seemed to freeze as players and spectators processed what had just happened. Panic rippled through the gym. Scully lay motionless on the court, unresponsive. The situation was dire, and every second counted. Amid the chaos, one man sprang into action. Miles Copeland, a forward for the Toledo Glass City, was seated on the bench when he saw Scully collapse. Unlike everyone else who was frozen in shock, Miles moved without hesitation. Miles wasn't just a basketball player. Off the court, he was a firefighter with the Toledo Fire Department just a year out of the academy. His training had prepared him for emergencies, but even so, this moment was unlike anything he had ever experienced. "I've never witnessed someone just collapse like that," Miles later admitted. "But I knew what had to be done."
I've never witnessed someone just collapse, but I knew what had to be done.
Rushing to Scully's side, Miles assessed the situation. He checked for vital signs, feeling for a pulse and watching for any signs of breathing. There were none. Scully was in cardiac arrest, and every second that passed without intervention reduced his chances of survival. Without hesitation, Miles began administering CPR. For those watching, it was a surreal scene, a basketball player performing life-saving compressions in the middle of a game. But for Miles, there was no time to think about the oddity of the situation. His focus was singular: keep Scully alive until paramedics arrived. It was instinctual, Miles explained. "It surprised me how quickly I was able to switch into that mode, especially being in the middle of a basketball game. But when you're a firefighter, you're never really off duty." Miles' quick thinking and calm demeanor in the face of such a crisis were nothing short of heroic. He worked tirelessly, performing chest compressions with the precision and strength required to restart a stalled heart. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, paramedics arrived and took over. They transported Scully to the hospital, where doctors confirmed the severity of his condition, a widowmaker heart attack caused by a severe blockage in one of his arteries. Scully's survival was nothing short of miraculous. Widowmakers are known for their grim prognosis. Only about 1% of people survive such an event. When doctors explained the gravity of the situation to Scully's fiancée, Donna, they didn't mince words. "He's that 1%, she said, marveling at the odds her fiancé had overcome. And it was all thanks to Miles Copeland, whose quick response had made the difference between life and death.
Yeah, 1% of the population, and he's that 1%.
For Miles, the experience was profound but humbling. Saving lives was part of his job as a firefighter, but doing so in the middle of a basketball game added a unique layer to the story. "Knowing I helped save his life is honestly one of the best feelings in the world," Miles said. "But I don't see myself as a hero. It's just what I was trained to do."
What does that feel like when all is said and done and you've saved a life?
It's honestly one of the best feelings in the world.
In the days following the incident, the story of Miles and John spread far and wide. News outlets picked up the tale, hailing Miles as a hero. The Basketball League TBL, where both men were part of the community, recognized Miles' incredible act of bravery. League president David Magley spoke of Miles with admiration. "A guy like this deserves to be celebrated," Magley said, "not just because he saved a life, but because of the humility he showed afterward. He's the kind of person who steps up when it matters most." Miles' humility was evident in every word he spoke about the event. "Ever since then, people look at me differently," he said. They call me a hero, but I don't see myself that way. I was just doing what I was put here to do.
The game's going as normal, and across the court, I'm on the bench at the moment that it happened. I just see the ref collapse. So I just get up from the bench and run over to him. He was completely unresponsive, doesn't have a pulse, not breathing. So I do what I'm trained to do. I run towards the emergency and I start CPR. And a group had gathered around me, so I call out for someone to grab a defibrillator, someone to call 911, get the engine on their way. And I just continue CPR. We eventually put the patches on him, advised 2 shocks to him before EMS is able to get there, and we kept him alive until paramedics were able to do some more interventions and eventually bring him back.
What would you say to anybody? Anything else we haven't addressed about the situation?
I just want to stress the importance of learning CPR. Bystander CPR is very important. Heart disease is the number one leading cause of death. So CPR is really easy to learn. There's lots of classes all around. Just looking, quick Google search, find a class, go to it, know what to do in these situations. It can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. So just knowing the steps of what to do before paramedics get there could make you a hero as well.
Meanwhile, Scully faced a long road to recovery. He underwent quadruple bypass surgery to address the underlying heart condition that had caused his collapse. The surgery was a success, and Scully began the arduous process of regaining his strength. For many people, an experience like this might have been a signal to slow down, to step away from the intensity of life on the court. But not for Scully. His love for the game and his commitment to his role as a referee were unwavering. Remarkably, less than a year after his brush with death, Scully returned to refereeing. He stepped back onto the court with a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. Every game was a reminder of how close he had come to losing everything and how one man's courage had given him a second chance. The emotional climax of the story came when Scully returned to the gym where the incident had occurred. This time, he wasn't just officiating a game, he was there to reunite with Miles Copeland. It was the first time the two men had met since that fateful day, and the meeting was filled with emotion. Scully expressed his deep gratitude to Miles, thanking him for saving his life. For Miles, it was a moment of validation and connection. "I was in the right place at the right time," Scully said, reflecting on the series of events that had brought him and Miles together. "That's why I'm here." The story of Miles Copeland and John Scully is more than just a tale of survival. It's a testament to the power of preparation, the importance of community, and the profound impact one person can have on another's life. It's about the split-second decisions that define us, the training that equips us to act, and the courage to step up when it matters most. For Scully, every game he officiates now carries a deeper meaning. It's not just about basketball anymore, it's about second chances, gratitude, and the resilience of the human spirit. And for Miles, the experience has reinforced his belief in his dual roles as a firefighter and an athlete. It's a rare combination, but one that prepared him uniquely for the moment when fate called him to act. The Toledo Glass City team, shaken yet inspired by the dramatic events of the first quarter, managed to rally and secure a victory in that pivotal playoff game. The atmosphere in the gym had shifted drastically from fear and uncertainty to a profound sense of resilience and unity as the players pushed through the emotional weight of what they had just witnessed. Miles Copeland's heroic actions not only saved John Scully's life but also ignited a deeper sense of purpose among his teammates. Every play on the court seemed infused with a renewed determination, as if they were playing not just for themselves but for something greater, a celebration of life, hope, and the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity. By the final buzzer, their triumph was more than just a mark on the scoreboard. It was a moment that symbolized the power of perseverance, the bonds of teamwork, and the extraordinary things that can happen when people rise together during life's most challenging moments. And that's the inspiring story of Miles Copeland and John Scully. If you were moved by this incredible tale of heroism and resilience, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Have you ever witnessed or experienced a moment of true heroism? Share your stories in the comments below, we'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.